You are welcome to yet another episode of HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. We have all witnessed a malicious agenda by government together with whoever is behind the R. Kelly takedown to taint the name of the R&B King. Something at which they have been largely successful save for the few case observers, supporters and fans who have preferred to look a little deeper beneath these accusations. We saw multiple women, some middle-aged and busy dealing with their midlife crises and whatever comes with it, and others almost as old as R. Kelly himself take to the media and give a shot at destroying his name. While many of their stories may sound emotionally appealing, it's important to put the tears aside and look at the facts as they are. One of the most disturbing fact being the way many of these accusers who claim R. Kelly abused them still preferred to stay with him even after the alleged abusive events. There is no single story on the record that suggests when an alleged victim attempted an escape, R. Kelly blocked them or anything similar. Meanwhile, from the same stories they told, it's clear they had numerous windows of opportunity to leave if they wanted. In fact, Diana Copeland's testimony does emphasize that just as the doors were open for those who wished to come in, they were equally open to those that wanted to leave.
Yes, he's never asked me or anyone else that I know to make sure, women don't leave. Every woman that's left has walked right out the door.
One of the alleged victims in fact did state that on one occasion she left the building to go get some shoes from her uncle, and indicated no such action as R. Kelly trying to stop her in any way. If these women were able to leave the building and get some shoes across the street, why would they return to him? Why weren't they leaving if they were actually abused or coerced like they suggest? When we speak of sticking with R. Kelly yet with claims of abuse, we remember one accuser whose claims to have found a gun on R. Kelly's table and assumed forced labor for which he was unfairly charged. The story of this particular accuser we all should know by now is only one of many in the complicated and highly publicized case against R. Kelly. Her allegations against the singer shocked the world as she made claims of control, intimidation and abuse. But one detail has since left many people puzzled, wondering why she returned to him even after the alleged gun incident she claims threatened her. If she was in fact been threatened by the presence of the gun on his table to a point of claiming the sexual intercourse they both enjoyed on that day was forced labor, why then would she continue visiting him, something she regularly did whenever she wanted some more? This accuser first came forward with allegations against R. Kelly in 2018. She described their relationship with him as deeply toxic and alleging that the R&B star subjected her to emotional abuse, intimidation and even infected her with an STD. But her story isn't just about the accusations. It's also about the questions many people ask when they hear her account. How could she return to a man she claimed was dangerous enough to use a gun on her? And while she may attempt to use the alleged trauma to justify her actions, she must remember that she, unlike some other claimants, had met R. Kelly when she was already an adult in her 20s. She therefore cannot be the same person suggesting that because R. Kelly was an adult he must account for the alleged actions, yet she as another adult doesn't want to take any responsibility for her own choices and actions. While the prosecution has done their best to justify her staying as simply a response to the alleged dominance, they forget that just as they want R. Kelly to account for his adult life choices, even this alleged happened to be way in her 20s and sane enough to make the right decisions for herself. It's unfair to look at this one way and imagine R. Kelly as an adult should have resisted the temptations of these women, yet at the same time account for the decisions and choices of such adult accusers. The fair way would be to suggest that if one must carry their cross, likewise the other adult should do the same. The only logical explanation to this is that the women who chose to be with R. Kelly had actually identified a weakness of kindness in him that allowed them to take advantage of his finances while enjoying the notoriety that came with it. This is something they were never willing to leave behind until this cash cow was finally out of cash and in prison for other reasons. It's important to note that R. Kelly was not taken in on the request of these women. There was another party interested in his downfall and the women were only used as facilitators to make him look bad. And this could explain the abnormally huge sums in restitutions which were likely promised by the government together with their judicial counterparts to these witnesses. It's however amazing that when it's the witnesses on the spot, their actions are referred to as simply acts of confusion and hope, but when it's R. Kelly, it's intentional abuse and control. If R. Kelly was really an abuser like the government wants us to believe, these women would have registered attempts to escape the alleged terror and failed, or at least they could have called the police multiple times and been intercepted by their said abuser, but there isn't any such record. And no one was interested in accusing him until they were called upon by government to feature in the documentary that would eventually see them remunerated for aiding in his takedown. This part was done perfectly well, and the remuneration in fact came through as restitution in hundreds of thousands of dollars. There is a general vagueness in the accusations against R. Kelly, especially in the stories that suggest he controlled and restricted women. Adult women of sound mind, just like adult men, are considered old enough to make choices of who they associate with and how they relate. It is therefore not enough to say that because an adult woman was allegedly under the dominion of a fellow adult, they did not have the judgment to leave if they felt that the man they were loving was a threat to their well-being, especially since they were not held captive in any way or forced to stay. Even those who claimed to have been 17 going to 18 spent the lion's share of their stay with Mr. Kelly as adult women of sound mind. To see mature accusers like his ex-wife Andrea Kelly, Asante McGee, Kitty Jones, Lisa Van Allen among others play the victim card is very disturbing, and in fact a revelation of what the government was after. All they wanted to do was destroy R. Kelly, and they were willing to use any testimonies available even if they didn't make sense. If you wish to take part in a live interview on this channel discussing any of these topics, let us know by emailing us on sashahnnewsroom@gmail.com for scheduling. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say. To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.